So I am a store lead at a retail food establishment here in LA.
Okay.
I am also 29, so I've been in this game for a little bit. I say that because I am going to work the hours that I'm scheduled and nothing more unless a previous agreement has been made. I'm here to get a paycheck. I'm here to clock in and clock out.
That's what's
I'm not
up.
here to go above and beyond. I'm sorry. So my coworker is supposed to be coming in at 1:45 p.m. I'm off at 2 p.m. and we have a little bit of overlap just in case anything happens. And good thing we had the overlap because obviously something happened. This coworker was late. I had a different coworker late the other day and I was supposed to be gone at 1:45 and she didn't show up until 2 p.m. So we're clearly having some issues here with people getting here on time. So my coworker isn't answering her phone. Her texts are going green, and we have iPhones. So her texts are going green. Her phone is going straight to voicemail. And I text my manager saying, hey, coworker isn't here yet. I have to leave at 2. I can't stay to close. Sorry. Finally, coworker gets a hold of me. It's 2:00. I'm already finished. I closed out the drawer. I locked the door. Coworker says, I'm on my way. Awesome. She lets me know, sorry, you have to stay though, until I get there. And I was like, what?
No.
And then my manager calls me. My manager then says, yeah, you're just gonna have to stay until she gets here. And I'm like, I got an appointment. And then she starts getting upset with me saying, oh, well, you can't just stay an extra 10 minutes. I inform her that it's going to be an extra 20 minutes, and that's not the issue. My schedule says I'm done at 2:00. I should be done at 2:00. I'm not going to stay an extra 20 minutes. You have no idea how far I live. You have no idea, where this appointment is, what this appointment is, and you have no, my schedule says I'm done at 2. Then I'm going to be done at 2. Then she pulls this, okay, well, I'll tell the operations manager and we'll have to have a conversation about this later. I said, oh, we're going to have to talk about this later? And she says, oh yeah, we are. I said, bet. I am 29 years old. I do not have time for this. She's also doing some other shady I don't even have time to tell you about in this one, but I don't like it and it makes me want to quit. Please tell me that I am not in the wrong because I think that is absolutely ridiculous. I had to be somewhere. You're going to ask me to be an extra 20 minutes. She was supposed to be here at 1:45. I'm already doing more than what I need to do. Miss me with that.
Okay, so are we asking the people that are always late to be on time, or are we just dumping all that extra work onto you? I'm confused. I mean, I fail to understand why you're in trouble because you don't want to stay later than when you agreed. You know what I'm saying?
Work bestie tried to get me fired, so used me as a sign to stop sharing so much at work. So when I was teaching in Japan, I was really close to my supervisor, who just so happened to be the only other black girl in the school. So, I thought we were vibing. We've known each other for 2 years. We've shared personal details. We've hung out outside of work. We were friends, not just work friends. You feel me? So the end of our school contracts were coming up, and our director wanted to know who was renewing their contracts. Bear in mind, my school was the cesspool of toxicity. It was a family-run business, and trust me, anything family-run, run away from, because this place was breeding toxicity. So the store director asked my friend, who's not renewing their contract for next year? And she says, Deanne isn't. Without any hesitation.
What?
And when I asked her, why the hell would you even mention my name in this conversation? She said, well, he knows we're really close friends. So if I didn't tell him that you're not renewing your contract and you said it before I told him, then he would come back on me and, reprimand me for not giving him the heads up.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
Bro.
And not even exaggerating, she basically made the choice for me to move out of Japan because once she told him that I wasn't trying to renew my contract, the guy cut me off in his head. And it doesn't stop there, because with her doing that, she stopped my bag. So in Japan, they give you bonuses every year and the amount depends on how long you've worked there. But remember, my school was toxic. So instead of basing it off how long you've been at the company, they based it off of how much they liked you. So you could have been working in this school for 20 plus years, but if they decided you were acting a bit funny this particular year, you didn't get a bonus. So guess who didn't get a bonus at the end of the year?
Oh, man.
Exactly.
No. Girl, she didn't like you from the start.
Once upon a time, I worked at Rue 21. Ended up transferring to a store closer to home because I was pregnant. And when I came back, it was a total show. Basically, the whole entire staff hated my manager because she just literally sucked as a human being. She would tell associates that she was going to fire them in front of customers. So, like, a bunch of people ended up quitting. And then on the resignation letters, they wrote, because of her, that she was, like, harassing them. She was racist, accused them of stealing, like, the whole 9 yards, right? One day I come into work and I notice an email that was on her computer. Public email for our manager team. Email reads something along the lines of, like, she didn't think that her managers had, like, good intentions anymore. I was working 45 hours a week. I was also pumping in the bathroom because there was no place to pump at all because I just had a baby. Like, when I tell you the drama that this woman would stir between everybody on her team, I need a part 2. She tried to give us like this whole sob story about how she just didn't know us anymore. Then at this time, our district manager quits. My store manager decides to take this time to start searching for a job for herself. Starts taking interviews while at work, extended breaks, just being like really absent, right? And this time, me being a store manager in training for the company, I was the one who had to step up and do all of the work that she was neglecting to do. So like everybody loved me, right? And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like, you know. One day, upper management comes to the store and somehow catches wind that there were resignation letters about her. Well, said letters disappear. So multiple calls to HR were made. This took about a month and a half. We're all thinking like, yeah, she's gonna get fired, get what she deserves. Oh boy.
Hell no!
So I come to work one day. I take my break like a normal person. I get back from break and our new district manager is there. So she has me going on the floor and she's like having me work a little bit more. And then she decides to call me in the back room. Apparently, my store manager happened to answer a phone call from HR. Caught wind of our little discretionary issue. Decided to take it upon herself to start researching things. Went through all of my clock in, clock outs. As managers, we're allowed to change our time punches. So I changed the time punch to reflect the day I'd come into work, but apparently I was off by 1 minute.
Oh, brother.
That time was tracked by when the alarm was actually turned off in the store at 9:30. That time was accounted for 9:31. I clocked myself in at 9:30. So they fired me. Accused it as time clock fraud.
Bro.
All because she basically just didn't want to get fired first.
Are you freaking kidding me? Are you actually freaking for real right now? Oh God, you know what? She deserves that job. How can you get so many letters of complaints about somebody and all of these people are quitting and you don't realize that that manager is the problem? Like, how do you not know? Try to get me fired? Enjoy the end of your law career. I worked in a pizza shop back when I was in college. I worked with Sarah, a vindictive lady who would stir up a lot of drama. Sarah would pick a target, then bully them into quitting. Where I'm at, college students can receive welfare if their parents earn less than a certain threshold. I was ineligible for student support due to my parents' income, even though they didn't support me, and I desperately needed this job. Matt, a new hire, quit after Sarah's harassment. Sarah's attention then turned to me. Sarah would approach my supervisor and spout BS like,
"Hey, Mr. Supervisor, I asked John where the snake is, and he said the snake is cutting pizzas."
This while the supervisor was actually cutting pizzas. She would shout at me with extreme hostility. She wouldn't warn me if pans were hot, a major sin in kitchen jobs. She'd conspire with her friends to accuse me of slacking off, even though they'd never complained about me until Matt quit. This took a toll on me. My hours were cut, impacting both my financial and mental well-being, and I even considered dropping out of college because I was struggling to afford rent. God, she sounds like a sadistic psychopath. Like, what the actual hell is this? And you're telling me that she wanted to become a lawyer? Jesus. Sarah was illegally claiming student welfare despite being employed by the pizza shop. You can only claim welfare if you are unemployed. Sarah, in the first year of her law degree, was also aspiring to become a lawyer. The thing about being a lawyer is that you need to be admitted to the bar to begin practicing. The law industry is very strict. Even proven allegations of plagiarism in college would make one permanently ineligible to become a lawyer. Frankly, she was stupid for defrauding the government. There is an anonymous complaint line for welfare fraud. Most of the time, the welfare department never follows up. Occasionally, however, they would send officials to investigate. This is one of the few times they followed up. So you didn't do much. You just kind of like a little nudge, a little petty nudge. I sent an anonymous tip stating the business, her schedule, her name, and her number. I was on shift when some officials from the welfare department came in, informing us that multiple complaints were made against Sarah. I think my boss could have just told them to scram since they probably didn't have a warrant, but instead of doing that, he licked their shoes, showing them all of the CCTV footage. The officials then questioned Sarah. She panicked, confessing to everything. I felt no sympathy for her. As a law student, she should have known to remain silent. Long story short, Sarah received a suspended sentence, which would most certainly disqualify her from becoming a lawyer. She dropped out of college while I continued working at the pizza shop and eventually graduated with an associate's. I have an all right job now. God, I am so proud of you. I am so proud. Imagine someone like that being responsible for upholding the law. Hell no.